Hi, this is attorney Nicole Christie from the Christie Law Firm, where we work hard to make families stronger. So today I want to talk to you about guardianship and how to get that through the probate court. So I had a client whose daughter got into some problems, and so she was caring for her grandchildren. And so DCF became involved because of the daughter's troubles. And so what we decided to do was to file in probate court for guardianship. Rather than wait for DCF to do their investigation or to take the matter to juvenile court, we quote beat them to the punch and we went to probate court. So probate court here in Connecticut is considered to be the people's court. And so in that court, what we did was we filed the petitions and we asked for guardianship. We named both parents. We noted that mom was consenting because she was in agreement with the fact that she didn't want DCF involved and she wanted the kids to live with her mother. We contacted the dads, and so we were able to actually file the petition in probate court. Eventually, when we did notify DCF, they actually liked the idea, and so they were willing to close out the investigation, knowing that we had filed in probate court for guardianship. And so we went through the hearing, and in the hearing, the judge heard from the mother. We heard facts about the dad, and so the judge actually granted guardianship to my client. And the great piece about this was that mom was still in the midst of dealing with her issues and they hadn't been resolved completely. And so now we knew where the kids were going to stay. So even if mom continued to have some issues and some of her things were going to take a while to resolve because it involved the criminal court, but nevertheless, we knew that the kids would be okay because they were under the guardianship of the maternal grandparents. And so the moral of the story is, if DCF is involved and you've been caring for your grandkids or your nieces or your nephews or whoever it is that you've had in your custody for a while, because it's been a family affair for a while and everybody understands and everybody's been signing off, there may come a time where you need to make it legal. There may come a time where you need to make it a little more permanent, a little more structured. And so the best place to go in the state of Connecticut is your local probate court. They are considered the people's court. It's a little easier. DCF is not a party to the case, meaning they don't get to, say what should and should not happen. I have seen where DCF doesn't recommend guardianship because perhaps the person has a criminal history. And I've seen where the probate court overrules DCF and still does the guardianship. So understand that that is an option for you if you are a caretaker for a child and you need to make your arrangements with the child more permanent. I know that in certain towns, in order for you to register the child for school, you have to have some kind of legal backing behind you, and some legal authorities, the better word, to say that you have this child in your care and this child should be registered. There are some towns, I will not name them publicly, but there are some towns that will literally watch you to see where you live in relation to the child and whether or not the child actually lives in that town, and they need to see clear documentation that the child is legally yours and that you are legally living in that town. Otherwise, they will kick that child out of their school district. I've seen them do it and then charge you for any time that the child was in their school illegally. So just something to think about. And by illegally, I don't mean that you go to jail as a result of it, but just the fact that a child is registered in a school, but the child doesn't live in that town or doesn't have a legal connection to that town. So there's different reasons why a parent or, a guardian would want to get guardianship through the court. And if you find that you're in that position, the best place to go is through the probate court. We are more than happy to help you through that process. I'll represent you in probate court. And as I said, it's the people's court, so it's a lot easier to manage, and even the atmosphere is less restrictive. So it's something to consider, especially if you have a kid in your care and it doesn't look likely that they'll be able to go back to mom or dad. So please stay tuned and look at our other videos around guardianship, understand what it is, what it's not, the different types of guardianship, and the differences between guardianship and adoption. And so Just also note that if you want to file for an adoption, you can also do that through the probate court if you are now currently a guardian. So these are different options that you can take to give your kid some sense of stability to say, yeah, you're going to be living with us from now on. And so most times that's what kids need to hear, is where they're going to be living, who's going to be raising them, especially if they have to already deal with the fact that they won't be living with mom or dad. The next best thing is that they've got a permanent home with someone that they love. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, share this with others, especially people who are dealing with this issue around guardianship versus adoption. Take care.